Oh my goodness, welcome back. It is time for game 4 of that ever so cool in-house Amazon.com tournament and run by their employees. Again, not an official Amazon.com company event, just a group of friends who work together, battling it out for the title of best and the best. So that way they can eat lunch together and know that one person really is the master SC2 player among them. And then probably give that person a cookie. We do see that JNB currently up 2-1, spawning in the bottom right position of Delta Quadrant. Going to be real happy to see that his Zergy buddy is in one of the close positions. Longhammer in the top right as the blue Zerg. Again, this purple-blue is driving me insane, but this is the sacrifice that I make to bring you this high-quality commentary. JNB in the position 3, as we can see by this number, that's 3, and it looks like he is scouting the 2 position in the top right, and oh, as if his map hack was working so well, perhaps clairvoyance, perhaps some sort of sixth sense, or just probabilistically, he ends up scouting one of the close positions, and there he does find his Zergy buddy. This will allow JNB to get a good sense of whether there's some sort of fast pool, fast hatch, or in particular, whether JNB wants to do an ultra-fast 2-gate push, as we saw him do in Game 1. There's a chrono boosting on the probes going down. Looks like somewhat of a standard gateway timing. Again, leaving a little tiny hole here for the Zealot, and we'll be completing that wall off with a Cybernetics core. Probe moving through this natural expansion area. It does look like a spawning pool going down from Longhammer. Not going to be opting to do any sort of fast gas play or any sort of expand play. The overlords of Longhammer now moving through the center of the map and towards this ramp area, trying to get a good sense of what's going on. Oh, looks like we're seeing a relatively fast assimilator by JNB as well. So going to be some kind of tech-focused play. 2 drones moving down now by Longhammer. Gonna try to kill off this probe from JNB, and it looks like the probe is pulling back smartly. Doesn't have nearly enough to be able to... Oh, look at this great fake play by Longhammer. Longhammer, who doesn't even have enough money for the expansion, just taking it down. Pool now finishing up. We're probably gonna see a queen pop immediately. Immediately. No, it looks like Longhammer going to try to just stick it through the long, harsh winter. No, Queen. Immediately Queen going down. I thought he was going to stick through the long, harsh winter and just endure the death of this pylon 5 HP at a time and end up expanding, but no. He's going to be opting for the fast Queen, getting a little bit of early gas. That way he can get into that fast speed upgrade mode. There's the extractor going down. So this is again going to put a big damper in any of Protoss' plans. Oh, and there's the build cancel trick by Longhammer, continuing to endlessly deny it. Looks like one of the observers in this game decided to ping this extractor, and really this deserves the double attention that it is getting. So JNB is in a little bit of an awkward position. He loves being in these close spots because he can do a lot of aggression against the Zerg. Zerg does not have really any time to prepare. I mean, look at how close these distances are. As I move up, bam. From front door to natural expansion, almost nothing. There's the second gateway going down from JNB, and if he opts for a 3rd and 4th gateway, he probably didn't even need that second geyser. He could do something like just 4 warp gate push with Zealots and Stalkers, and will he get the next one off? Oh my gosh, that was so close. But there is the build cancel trick. Notice that this build's a little bit faster than the Zealot can actually kill it off in time. So right as it is about to die, Longhammer just cancels and rebuilds. Very cool way to permanently deny a lot of gas. There's Twilight Council going down. JNB might end up might be doing some sort of blink play again, but he really is going to be cramped on the gas for that. Longhammer now beginning to add on more drones. His expansion hatchery is nearly done. His second queen is nearly done. He's going to be adding on a creep tumor before he begins the journey to this expansion because it's so important to have creep spread, especially on a map as small as this. Wow, is he really going for that Twilight Council play? I do not like that at all with that gas denial lasting that long. There's the creep tumor popping down right now that will allow this queen in the main to join the queen at the expansion in no time flat if there's some sort of push incoming. Does look like the warp gate is nearing completion as well, but it's going to be pretty Zealot heavy because look at that. Blink just going down. A full nexus of chrono boost. Oh no, click chrono boost. That is essentially wasted advantage from our Protoss hero. Looks like that early gas steal threw him off quite a bit. Here come the Zerglings. Whoa, that was kind of close. Looks like the Zerglings going to be trying to do a little bit of nibbling damage, but they could do tons of damage to that Cybernetics core. Look at how much space is on the outside edge for the Zerglings to begin doing a lot of biting on it. No Chrono Boost being spent yet. The Zerg is getting that layer, is getting that second gas geyser. No Roach Warren going down right now, but a ton of Zerglings. It's going to be very, very easy to do damage against these Stalkers because the Stalker count's going to be so low. Gosh, the second gas was delayed by that Zerg cancel trigger. So it looks like Protoss, with his excess minerals, is going to be trying to knock down these destructible debris so he can take himself his backdoor expansion as quickly as possible. Looking around, the Blink is getting a little bit closer to done, but not quite there yet. Zerg also doing the very economic play with all these units surrounding his own nearby destructible debris, which, keep in mind, has an armor of 3, so these Zerglings do hardly anything to it. A damage of 2. So that is 1,000 hits on the Zergling, and as you see, that's going to happen pretty darn fast. There's the Spine Crawler now finishing for Longhammer. He's getting, interestingly, the Overlord speed before anything else. Looks like he wants to do a lot of spotting, is scared of big movement by JNB, and oh my goodness, that is a lot of Gateway units moving out right now. And look at how fast they get to the opponent's base. That was nearly instant, and not really that many Zerglings at all. 27 Zerglings versus 11 Stalkers and 2 Zealots. So many Gateway units, and we do see there's an expansion going down for JNB. He is pulling back most of his units. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm really genuinely not. Looks like an almost full Nexus as well. Robotics facility coming out once again. We see that Roach Warren popping down for Longhammer. A lot of Zerglings up right now. The Queen staying in a fairly hidden location. We see the Roach Warren also play back relatively far as well. Here comes the Overseer. It's a speed Overseer. It's going to be able to march in there very, very quickly, contaminate anything it wants, see anything it wants, but he's going to have a little bit of trouble because he's going to be distracted by this big push coming up for the Protoss. Protoss could maybe pick off that Queen, but no, ends up pulling back at the last second. Longhammer knows about this, and here come the Zerglings trying to do the big surround. There's the Blink retreat, not very much damage dealt, but we do see that Roach Warren is getting increasingly close to completion. There's the expansion from JNB, just now wrapping up. More Stalkers warping in. The Robo Bay is done. The Overseer starting to move its way in there. It's got to be careful. It does take extra damage from those Stalkers. Some very cool Blink play micro by JNB. He's getting very close to dead. He needs to goop up something, and just ends up crapping out a Changeling that gets immediately taken out. There's the Overseer heading up the right side of the map back home to maybe heal, maybe feel a little bit happier. But man, look at that amount of larvae just hanging out there. Those can easily spring into a full Roach army. We see the Glial Reconstitution upgrade going down. We see a Hydra Den going down. Longhammer, who loves that Roach Hydra composition. There's a hatchery going down at the gold expansion for Longhammer. It looks like he is also getting up a good economic, solid foundation himself. There is an Observer popping out for JNB in addition to his expansion, and JNB, who opened up with that kind of unorthodox Blink Stalker play after the gas steal, is not really having that much production at this point. He hasn't really done damage with the Blink Stalkers, and he hasn't really set up any sort of Immortal or Colossus or even extra Gateway transition, still hanging out with exactly 3. There's a Dark Shrine going now, so now a little bit of transitioning, a little bit of change occurring in his strategy. But still not too much yet. Looks like Longhammer doing the usual composition of getting the +1 attack upgrade and the range. Well, no +1 attack quite yet, but no doubt will be starting quite soon. JNB does have a Zealot at these backdoor rocks. He can continue to scout the most likely expansion locations of his opponent. Dark Shrine half done. Robo Bay going down as well. Contaminate, a very easy building to contaminate. The forward gateway might not really do that much of an effect, but it will definitely have somewhat of an effect. And considering that mana is free, spend your frickin' mana. Looks like Longhammer is continuing to churn out those Hydralisks to bolster that Zergling Roach mix. There's the missile attack upgrade going down as well. We're seeing some more gateways ending up getting warped in. The Robo Bay is about at 75% completion. More gateways getting produced. Yes, always good. About 5 gateways plus a Robo Bay and a Forge is the number that you can go for and safely begin building a big army and put pressure on your opponent and expand at the same time. So we do see JNB now moving out with one of those Dark Templar. Are there any Overseers here? I know that there is an Overseer somewhere on the map. Is it still hiding in the back corner Oh no, no Overseers anywhere in sight for Longhammer. Even up at this top expansion, he doesn't really have any. Looks like he's going to go straight into the main. Oh man, it looks like there's one Dark Templar in the center as well. And the only spot where there's an Overseer on the whole map is where JNB incidentally ends up sending that one, but I don't think he ended up seeing it. Zerg probably has the same blue-purple color blindness that I do, and there he is beginning to work away at the drones. Let's see how long it takes him to notice. Not long at all, only 3 kills on that Dark Templar. He should end up targeting that Spire if he wants to be safe. He's morphing an Overseer next to his other Overseer, so he has double Overseer. We do see one Zealot now pulling back as well, and here comes the big blink. Absolutely not. There is not going to come a big blink army. In the meantime, Longhammer just has an increasingly large force getting produced, and this is a real dangerous spot for Zerg to be in. We're seeing Zerg getting very close to that max point. If he ends up overproducing mid-game units, he will not have a good maxed army. In other words, sometimes players start making Hydralisks just to be able to stay alive, and then suddenly they're maxed, and they have an only Hydralisk army. Very zonable with the force fields, very killable with the Colossus. You have to be careful not to overproduce units that are only good in middle-ish to small numbers. Hydras are not that great in massive 200 armies, unless you have, say, Ultralisks and Queens in the mix as well. So this means that Zerg is praying for an attack very soon, and that is exactly what he's going to get. Zerg is delighted to see a push out at this time, and there are the Speed Zealots finally now finishing, but here's the huge flank, and it looks like great control there by Longhammer, letting the Zerglings sneak in from the side to pick off all of those Stalkers. The Zealots fell to the Hydralisks, and this is so the dream situation for Zerg. If Protoss had only waited a little longer to when it would have been closer to a max army, Zerg would have been just kicking himself for having this mix. But great prediction there by Zerg, expecting that move-out attack. We do even see a Zealot trying to move into this expansion, but the Queen's going to be able to pick it off with ease. Meanwhile, Zerg does have that Spire done. His money's getting quite high, but Zerg had a big victory just now. We see JNB down at 80 food, chrono boost on pretty much every unit producing structure. More Zealots getting made by JNB. He saw that high ling count. Is he getting the +2? No, he doesn't even have +1 yet. Youch. And with those Corruptors coming in, Corruptor, Hydra Roach, very tough to deal with. Very tough indeed. There's a +2 coming up as well. Stargate going down for JNB. Ooh, we could begin getting some Void Rays, but you know what? It's a little too late. 8 Corruptors coming out onto the field. Some Zealots beginning to spring forward. Sacrificial Zealots, the 10 Virgin Zealots moving out into the middle of the map will kill off 2, maybe 3 Hydralisks. Yes, that was definitely not an even trade. It looks like JNB was trying to set up some kind of pressure so that way he could end up beginning an expansion, but it looks like he might even just sneak down to that bottom left. Yes. Anytime you are feeling vastly behind your opponent, such as he is taking his 4th and 5th long before you're taking your 3rd, that is when you should take a big risk. When you are very far behind and there's almost no way to win with conventional pushing, you can always try to do something that's a little risky and try to get a little bit lucky. High Templar moving out right now, but no Storm done. Man, Protoss is getting very bold moving out at this phase. Look at this almost max Zerg army at 170 food. The pylon going down now for JNB. Longhammer has so much stuff, can easily begin getting a hive to get those Broodlords out as well. Broodlord's the big power unit against Protoss in the late game along with those Ultralisks, and it looks like JNB going to try to sneak his way up to this expansion again. Going to try to put pressure on, maybe do a simultaneous attack, but I don't think even JNB realizes how small his army is going to end up being. And oh, there's the spot by Longhammer. Checks it out. Zealots now moving their way up north, but I think they're going to be quite surprised to see there's some more bases over here. There's also a big swell of Zerglings in the center of the map, picking off any extra scouts, and yes, Longhammer thanking himself for that creep spread, so he can pop up over there and pick those off ASAP. There's JNB. Yeah, you know my base is here. That's fine. I'll transfer the probes anyways. Maybe they'll get there in time, maybe not, but you know what? The probes have been given an order, and they will obey. No, get us the hell out of here. Pulling right on back, going to that more reasonable 3rd base. We do see a Templar Colossus mix. We have a lot of Zealots popping in because JNB is getting broke on gas. Needs some way to spend his extra minerals. He's just going to spend it on Zealots. And here comes the big push from Longhammer. These cannons are going to buy a little bit of time. Can he get some good storms off? Some great storms! Oh my god! Those Hydralisks have such low health, but will it be enough? There are just so many units for Zerg, J, and B with the Hero Storms, but it is not enough. There is the GG, which means we are tied up 2-2, and we are going to go into a deciding Game 5 to find out who the champion of Amazon.com will be.